Podcast กลับมาแล้วครับอยู่กับผมเหมือนเดิมพี่เบิร์ดครับผมแล้วก็พี่ปอนแจ็คครับเซ่
and อาจารย์ Richard
แจ็คเจอเลย
เอพิโซดนี้ทุกๆคนเราจะมาพูดถึงเรื่องที่บางคนอาจจะเข้าใจผิด
ใช่
บางทีเราเห็นดาราที่รูปร่างหน้าตาเป็นลูกครึ่ง
และเขาเป็นลูกครึ่ง
แล้วเขาก็เป็นลูกครึ่งจริงแต่ว่าเราเคยได้ข่าวมาว่าลูกครึ่งเคยมีอยู่คนหนึ่งดาราคนหนึ่งจะเคยได้ยินว่าให้สัมภาษณ์ว่าต้องไปลอกภาษาอังกฤษเพื่อนอะ
หรือเขาไม่ได้แบบเขาเป็นลูกครึ่งที่โตในเมืองไทยหรือเปล่า
โตในเมืองไทยดังนั้นมันก็มีหลายปัจจัยที่ทำให้ลูกครึ่งเนี่ยอาจจะไม่ได้แบบสอบได้เต็มในภาษาอังกฤษก็ได้
เขาอาจจะคุยกับคุณพ่อคุณแม่เข้าใจแต่เวลามันต้องมาเขียนต้องมาอ่านอะไรเงี้ยก็อาจจะไม่ได้ก็ได้
ใช่
ซึ่งจริงๆมันก็มีประเด็นนะปอน
ว่า
คือด้วยคำที่เราเป็นศูนย์สอบ IELTS ใช่ไหมคือเด็กที่สอบกับ British Council จะมาสอบที่ออฟฟิศของเราที่สถาบันของเราแล้วก็วันนั้นก็มีดาราท่านหนึ่ง
ก็ลูกครึ่ง
เขาลูกครึ่งแหละแล้วเขาก็มาสอบ IELTS แล้วหลังจากนั้นก็มีหนังสือพิมพ์หรืออะไรสื่อนั่นแหละเขาบอกว่าขอแสดงความยินดีกับน้องตื้นๆด้วยสอบ IELTS ได้ 8.0 ทุกคนก็แสดงความยินดี
ซึ่งก็ถือว่าคะแนนสูงแล้ว
ใช่เพราะ8 เต็ม 9
เยอะแล้ว
แต่ในโลกย่อมมีคนที่มองอีกมุมนึงคนก็จะบอกว่าเป็นลูกครึ่งทำไมไม่สอบได้เต็ม
แล้วฉันถามหน่อยเธอเป็นคนไทยเธอสอบภาษาไทยได้เต็มไหม
คะแนนภาษาไทยอาจจะแย่ที่สุดในทรานสคริปต์ก็ได้นะ
ไปว่าเขาไม่ได้แล้วเขาก็ได้คะแนนสูงแล้วด้วย
8คือแบบต้องยืนขึ้นปรบมือ standing ovation
ใช่ไหม
good word standing ovation
so I have to ask you Richard for a person to get 8 out of 9 how difficult that is
it's difficult but it's doable I mean you need to be good at language and have the skills as well in terms of reading and writing and listening and speaking I mean there's a whole load of stuff I could tell you where would you like me to begin? I mean, what skills, what language are we talking about?
I think we could talk about the difference between language that you use in your normal life and in writing basically.
Yeah, because what we've just mentioned in Thai is that was in the news that a half English-speaking person do not get people are questioning why does a half don't get the full score don't get the 9
I mean I think if we're talking about writing then it's got to be about vocabulary and grammar and coherence and cohesion shall I talk about those things so I mean for example if you're looking at vocabulary you've got to have a wide range of vocabulary and that's got to be the right kind of vocabulary for IELTS it's got to be that formal register, really very
which you don't use daily.
We're not using that daily at all. No, for example, if you were talking about, today I got stuck in a terrible traffic jam.
What would you say that in your writing?
In IELTS.
I say traffic jamming, we could probably say something like road congestion or traffic congestion. Or you might say something like the roads were incredibly congested.
Okay.
And you might, if you use the adjective congested and then put the adverb incredibly with that, so you're showing that you can build language very flexibly.
I see, and that's not something we say daily at all.
Not at all.
No, you just say traffic jam.
Yeah.
and I think that's probably related into Thai when we write a letter to ข้าราชการนะ
ใช่
And that is the form that if you ask an 18-year-old girl to write it right now, a formal letter requesting some sponsorship, she wouldn't be able to write it. I believe that.
แทนที่จะบอกว่าคุณพ่อคุณแม่ช่วยหนูจ่ายค่าเรียนพิเศษได้ไหมก็จะต้องเป็นขอความอนุเคราะห์
ใช่
ซึ่งมันต่างกันมาก
ซึ่งภาษาขอความอนุเคราะห์นั่นแหละ the formal language that you use
that's the IELTS language.
That's the IELTS language.
Another thing is like the words that fit together is a really important aspect of IELTS, right? So for example, if you were writing an essay about something about economies or something like that, and you might talk about, economic increase. Well, I understand that completely, of course I do. But as a native speaker, you wouldn't combine those two words together.
Right.
You would talk about economic growth.
Right.
Right? So it's knowing those combinations, which really comes from reading and using English a lot in that way. So you can build up those natural combinations of words. So, somebody who's half English, half Thai or something, they might not read a lot, perhaps. So they've not got that same level of collocation is called. This word called
collocation.
Collocation.
Is that which word you use
With another one.
Words naturally co-occur. That's how a baby, how a young child learns language. They don't learn the grammar rules, right?
Right.
They just learn word plus word plus word. That's how we all learn language, really. That's what language is.
Wow.
Some people say grammar doesn't exist.
So เมื่อกี้เนี่ยอาจารย์ริชาร์ดเพิ่งพูดว่าเวลาที่เราเรียนเนี่ยเราจะรู้สึกว่าเฮ้ยเราเรียน noun เรียน grammar เรียนอะไรอาจารย์บอกไม่เด็กโตมาคือเรียนว่าคำไหนอยู่กับคำไหนแค่นั้นเลย Oh that's new to me.
This is a whole debate about whether grammar is prescriptive or descriptive. Should grammar say you should use these rules, or is grammar simply trying to describe the language? And I think this is quite a good thing for learners to remember because it makes grammar less frightening.
That's true.
จริงๆแล้ว grammar เนี่ยมันเป็นตัวบอกว่าให้เราพูดแบบนี้หรือเป็นตัวอธิบายว่าจริงๆแล้ววิธีพูดแบบนี้คือ grammar
อันนี้คือเป็นสิ่งที่น่าคิดนะนี่คือคำถามของ Miss Universe ปีหน้า ว่าตกลงแล้ว grammar ใช้ทำอะไรกันแน่
และ grammar มีอยู่จริงไหมมีแต่หน้าที่ของ grammar คือใช้อธิบายหรือใช้กำหนด
มันไม่ใช่ว่าอันไหนถูกนะเขาก็ดีเบตกันอยู่เหมือนกันThat's so interesting.
And that's why we have we say, oh, this is a grammar rule, but there's this exception. Oh, and there's this exception. Oh, and because grammar is not, language is not really rule-based.
Yeah.
It's just words that co-occur.
Right. I would love to hear you talk on TED Talk about this.
About grammar.
Would be yes. I could introduce you actually. TEDx Sukhumvit. I was invited, but he's a more qualified.
We could do it together. How about that? Yeah.
Right. How about that? Okay.
Well, I've got a question. When you talk of formal language, then obviously we can do that in the piece of writing. But when it's come to speaking tests, would you speak formally?
No.
Because it's a speaking test. But would you say what did you say about the
traffic?
And it sounds strange if someone talked to you reading a book to you.
I mean, for sure, it's a mixture of language when you get to the speaking exam. It's a mixture of formal and informal, but it's certainly not like giving an academic presentation. Okay. And some of the students come along and they think, they have to. Firstly, I'd like to, and it's not like that at all. And in fact, one of the things that we want students to do is to show that they can use idiomatic language.
Okay. ก็คือต้องใช้ idiom เป็น
Which is not saying using idioms like, something about once in a blue moon. No.
I'm going to paint the town red.
No. Well, you could say that, but those things always sound weird. Like you're talking like this, and then you throw in this expression, and it just sounds out of place. So I think a good way to do it is to use phrasal verbs. Because phrasal verbs are idiomatic. So, I've been learning so many new words. I've been looking them up in my dictionary.
I see.
That's idiomatic, and it's much more natural. It fits in without you sort of noticing it.
Okay. So คำว่า idiomatic เนี่ยมันไม่ใช่ว่าเราจะต้องไปเอาสุภาษิตคำพังเพยอะไรแบบนี้มาใช้
ในการทำข้อสอบ speaking
แต่พูดง่ายๆก็คือใช้คำที่ความหมายแบบนี้ในรูปแบบอื่นได้
ถูกต้อง I've got an idea actually.
Yeah.
Can we do a little bit of mock speaking exam so Bond can be student?
Oh my god, I'm gonna fail so bad.
See?
Who says that? Like I would fail so bad in IELTS.
Everybody says that, I think,
Shall we do that?
That's scary.
Shall we do that?
Okay.
Right.
Okay, shall we start at the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'd like to ask you a few questions about yourself. Do you work or are you a student?
I work.
And what do you do?
I am a content creator, so I create content online.
Do you enjoy your job?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because every day I create something new and I have a chance to share my passion and knowledge with other people.
So that was a pretty easy question. Well, that's the beginning of the exam. It's pretty easy.
Okay.
But that's not the first
So you
part
just
of the
ease
exam.
me in.
We ease you in.
Yeah.
We ease you in with simple questions like
Yeah, because
that.
I was tense.
So now you're relaxed.
Okay, I'm
That's what we do. We make you relax.
Okay.
So you said the first part. How many parts of the speaking that you have in it?
There are 3 parts.
Right.
There are 3 parts.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's the first part of the first
Okay.
part. I can't break it down. I can't give away the secrets.
Right.
I can't
Okay.
say too much.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I
What's the
can,
toughest part of the
Yeah.
exam?
well, there are 2 difficult parts, and they're difficult in different ways.
Okay.
So part 2, you've got to speak for 2 minutes about a
Oh.
topic.
That's
Right?
difficult.
So I give you a card, and
Yeah.
it's a topic card. It says, describe la 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 la, and you have to talk about that for 2
Yeah.
minutes. You have a minute to think about it, and I think that minute, I think it's really important how you use that minute. You've got to plan.
Can I put a note?
You can make notes, and I think the notes that you make can make the difference between a good score and a bad score. Like
Oh.
sometimes I say, you've got 1 minute to make some notes, and the student writes the first sentence that they're going to say.
Yeah.
So then they come to it and they say the first sentence, and that's taken like 3.5 seconds, and then they've got another 156.5 seconds to go,
Okay.
and they've got nothing left.
Ah.
So it's about planning in a useful, meaningful way.
So
This could be a whole podcast, actually.
I know, like you should give us each the
You're throwing back to me now.
the
Thank you
topic,
very much.
and then we both have a minute,
Right.
and then we should go for it.
Shall we?
Okay,
Okay.
so the topic could be something like, do you want to write down the...
Yes.
I mean, normally you get a card, but if you've got the first line, it's okay. So
Okay.
I'd like you to describe a teacher who you liked in the past or disliked. Okay? And the card would say something like, say who he is and what he taught you, and some little bits and pieces like that. But the main thing is that you talk about that main topic. Okay? So have a think about it. You've got 1 minute. I'm timing you from now. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So
Who's going to start first?
Oh.
Paul's going to start first.
I just sit and I listen, but I'm actually going to jot some things down so I can remember what to say, what I've heard you say afterwards, all right?
Okay.
But normally the examiner wouldn't do this. I just would look at you all the
Okay, so I choose to talk about the teacher that I liked back when I was in first school. Her name was Kru Wadi. Kru meaning teacher in Thai. And Kru Wadi, the main thing that I liked about her was the way she looked. It may seem shallow, but it's true. She was very beautiful, very tall, and she always smelled so good. When I was young, I was probably the shortest in the class. And every day when we walked up to the morning ceremony at school, we would follow the teacher, which was Kru Wadi. And I remember being the first one in line because I was the shortest. I smelled her wonderful scent every morning, and that was so beautiful. You may laugh at me, but that's one of the reasons I go to school and I just like to smell her. I think it was the detergent that she used. And also, she is so very good at encouraging us to do all the activities that she planned for us daily. Some of the games that was very educational, but at the same time very fun. She never say anything bad to her students and was very tolerant of our behaviors. Some of the kids were...
Is this the longest 2 minutes of your
Yes.
life? Is it? I think we're just about done. Very good. Very
Yes.
good.
This is talking about, this is about telling a story of your childhood.
And you know, because I was so scared of making mistakes, I used the most simple words I could
No, I
find.
think you used some good words actually. Do you want
Yes.
some feedback?
Yes, please.
Okay, so first of all, it was very good. It was very good. But I can tell that you didn't plan
No.
enough material.
Right.
So all you'd really planned was that you liked the fact that she smelled nice and that you came out for the ceremony, and then you were stuck.
Yeah,
And I
right,
saw a
right.
drop off
That's true.
in quality at
Yeah.
that point because you hadn't planned.
That's true.
And I knew that without even seeing what you'd written.
And it's true, and that's all I wrote.
Yeah. See, however, shall I tell you what was
Yes,
really good?
yes.
Okay. What I really liked was, I loved it when you said, it may seem shallow, but it's a lovely expression. The intonation was beautiful. You've got a very nice pronunciation. Yeah? And then you said three things about her. I didn't quite catch to write them down, but you said she was der, and she was der. And I really liked the way you went and before the third adjective. And I really liked your intonation again. It's like when we say, oh, I went to 7-Eleven, I bought ham, cheese, and eggs. And that intonation tells you that you finished.
Okay.
And you said she was, can you remember what you said? Beautiful,
she was,
blah, blah, blah.
Something. I don't even remember.
Yeah,
what
anyway.
I was so excited.
Another nice thing, there were two lovely grammar things that you used. You said you were talking about walking out into the ceremony.
Yeah,
you said,
morning ceremony.
we would follow her. So you were using would there to talk about something that you did regularly in the past.
Yeah.
Like used to or would. Now this is
Okay.
something that not many students will do. It's very high level grammar and you used it very naturally. It's very good. And another nice grammar thing was you said, I remember being, did you say I remember being something?
Yeah, the shortest in the
So
class.
that's lovely. No, I don't think you remember being the shortest. Do you?
Cutting.
It
I
was,
was cutting.
it was something about being in the ceremony, I think. I remember smelling her. Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, you said remember plus ing for
Yeah.
a memory. With very nice grammar. You could have used other vocabulary like scent or you said scent.
Yeah, I did.
Fragrance, you could have said.
Fragrance,
You
yeah.
could have said the fragrance wafting through the air. Wafting.
How do you spell that?
W-A-F-T.
Wafting.
To waft.
Ooh.
So there's other vocabulary you could have brought in, but
Yeah.
it was excellent. And then the second part was not as good because you
Yeah.
hadn't planned it.
That's true.
There you
That's
go.
true. Thank you so much for the feedback.
My
I
pleasure.
learned so
It
much.
sounds quite difficult. I mean,
There's loads to think about, Trina, honestly.
it's 2 minutes of life.
Yeah.
When you need to hit the score you need for university.
See, now I see why you need to come and learn to prepare for the
Yes.
exam. Not just because you know how to speak English, but you have to be ready for those 2 minutes.
You
Yeah.
have to showcase your language. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I've got it, but I've got to showcase it to you. I've got to show the examiner that I've got it. Yeah?
Bring out what you know in
Right,
those 2
right.
minutes.
And also you need to learn how to manage the situation that
Right.
you're facing right there. Like you're nervous, you know. I think half of your vocabulary would have gone away.
Yeah, when you're nervous.
Yeah, you can't, you know.
Exactly
You get,
what
you
I was
get
facing.
tongue-tied.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
that expression when your tongue is tied in a knot, you get tongue-tied.
ลิ้นพัน
ลิ้นพัน
Ling pan.
ลิ้นพัน
Oh, ling pan.
ลิ้น is tongue and
ลิ้น
pan
พัน
is tied.
Oh, thank you,
Exactly the
อาจารย์
same. You're welcome, อาจารย์
and what about technique on conducting yourself,
I think
managing your
what you
examen-
need to do is, well, okay, so the nerves are best dealt with by practicing a lot and feeling confident. On the actual day, I sometimes tell, if my students are particularly nervous, I tell them to visualize and to breathe from their diaphragm. You know your diaphragm down here? If we breathe from here, that's your, what is it, fight or flight
Mode,
response,
yeah.
like animals when they run away.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? But if you breathe from here, it sends chemicals to your brain, which slows everything down and just kind of makes you feel a bit chill. So, and if you visualize being in the exam and it going really well and the examiner's a nice guy and the words are coming out my mouth and wow, this is great. You can think about that before you go in. It'll make you feel better, you know, make you feel calmer. But then when you're actually in there, just let the examiner control the exam.
right?
Yeah? Let him take your identification and let him just ask you the questions he needs to ask you.
Yeah.
Don't try and have a chit chat in a coffee shop with him.
Okay, so that
different.
happened then.
Yeah, and that's different between IELTS and TOEFL. So in TOEFL, you speak to computer for the speaking test.
Okay.
So there was no body language, and nobody would actually lead you through the way.
I mean, the examiner wants you to do well.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
because you don't want to see that face again.
Exactly.
You know what? I've heard that some of them take 11 times to get
IELTS?
Yes, 7 times. And
Okay.
each test costs 6,900 baht.
Wow.
So you should probably save that money and
Study.
it.
And you save time,
Get ready.
save energy, spend your
Yeah.
time in doing something else. Especially you're going to study overseas. There's a lot of you to prepare. Like life in the UK, university, accommodation, application, supporting documents. That's all you need to do rather than spend 11 weeks of taking my exam. That 3.5 or 4 months.
แล้วก็เอาเวลานั้นนะมาดูว่าเราจะไปเรียนที่ไหนดี
ใช่
เหลือเวลา
ใช่
มาปรึกษาว่าที่ไหนดีอันไหนเหมาะกับฉันที่สุดเนาะซึ่งที่เนี้ย
ครบ
วงจร
เราเรียกเซ็นเตอร์ของเราว่า all happening here
all happening here
all happening
It's
here
all happening here.
It's all happening
ใช่
here.
ก็คือตั้งแต่เตรียมความพร้อม
เรื่องของ IELTS ก็มาเรียนกับอาจารย์วิเชษคอร์สเรียนอาจารย์แบบท็อปแล้วล่ะ
นี่อยากเรียนมากเอาจริงนั่งคุยกับอาจารย์มาได้ 2F แล้วเนี่ย
นะ
น่าเรียน
มัน
คืออาจารย์
มี
สนุกแล้วอาจารย์มีแบบมีความรู้ลึกๆที่จะมาแชร์กับเราอะ
มันไม่ใช่เพียงแค่ความรู้ด้านภาษา มันมีวิธีการกับประสบการณ์ที่อาจารย์เขาจะดึงนักเรียนให้สามารถ express feeling ได้ แล้วทีนี้พูดถึงเรื่องของมาเรียนเตรียมตัวสอบให้มันได้คะแนนแล้ว ที่นี่ก็เป็นศูนย์สอบถูกปะ
เป็น
แล้วก็
ศูนย์สอบที่เดียวไหม
ที่เดียวในประเทศไทยของ
ของ
British
British
Council
Council
หากคุณเรียนภาษาอังกฤษเรียน IELTS มีโรงเรียนเดียวที่สามารถให้คุณสอบในที่คุณเรียน
คือ
Westminster School of English
ที่เดียว
ที่เดียว
ก็คือว่า1คุณเริ่มตั้งแต่เรียนปุ๊บก็มี mock test ให้
ใช่
mock test ให้ไปเทสจริง
ใช่
เรียนผ่านปุ๊บมีมหาวิทยาลัยต่างๆ ให้เลือก
ต่างๆมี counselor ที่จบอังกฤษมีพี่ๆที่จบอังกฤษมาให้คำแนะนำกับหลักสูตรเกี่ยวกับมหาวิทยาลัยใช้ชีวิตเมืองต่าง
คือดูแลตลอดเส้นทาง
ๆตลอดเส้นทางจน
ค่ะ
ส่งขึ้นเครื่องเหลืออย่างเดียวก็คืออุ้มคุณขึ้นเครื่อง
ซึ่ง
คื
ก็
อสิ่ง
อาจ
ที่
จะ
เรา
อุ้มก็ได้ ใครจะไปรู้เอาไม่เนาะโอเค
อาจจะขายแพ็กเกจเพิ่มนะ
แพ็กเกจอุ้ม
แพ็กเกจอุ้ม
เนาะ
อุ้มต่างนะ
ดังนั้นใครที่สนใจเนี่ยก็ติดต่อมาได้ตาม information ที่ให้ที่ description นะคะ
I've just had a ball.
You been do it you have a ball
I've had a ball. You know that expression?
I've had a ball
I've had a
yes
ball.
I
Have a
had
ball.
so much fun yeah
So
okay
thanks for inviting me again. It's very nice.
hope
Can
you
I come
just-
again, please?
Yes,
of
please.
course.
Thank you.
Please do
Thank
please
you.
come
Thank you.
yeah
โอเค และนี่ก็เป็นอีก1วันที่เรามีความสุขกับความรู้เกี่ยวกับ IELTS ที่ต้องพูดเลยว่าคุณหาได้ยากมาก
จริง
แล้วความรู้อะไรแบบนี้มันจะอยู่ใน Win Podcast ของเรา เอพิโซดหน้าจะเป็นเรื่องราวของอะไรนั้นก็มาติดตามกับพี่เบิร์ดนะครับกับพี่ปอน
ค่ะ
ใน Win Podcast นะครับติดตามกันได้ในช่องทาง YouTube Facebook กด Follow
กด subscribe
กดกระดิ่งริงนะ
จ้าร
อบหน้าจะเป็นเรื่องราวของอะไรนั้นก็ติดตามกันนะครับสำหรับวันนี้เราก็ต้องลากันไปก่อนนะสวัสดีครับบ๊ายบายริชาร์ดสวัสดีครับพี่ปอนนังเกียวครับ